Hello everybody, and welcome to Smash Mindblown, the man, the myth, and most certainly not the legend. Today we're here with an amazing video. Let's get into it. So, we start off with a classic tale, with a MILF and a virgin. And then, first off, we start with, the classic quality intro of a quality hentai, which is such as a compilation of women having their back ends blown out by quite a big man. Of course, we're about the willy size, of course, since most of these men are about 18, maybe younger, but we'll just avoid that fact. In the top right corner, we are proudly showing the company behind this masterpiece, which states is proshentai.com, no spaces. We then follow with the compilation of the men finishing their ploughing sessions and proceeding to come in the women, or however saucy the man particularly feels that day. And this is just the start of the hentai, so let's hope the main event keeps its level of high standards. Then straight after the last succulent moan, proshentai.com flashes right before your eyes to make themselves known so you can jerk your cock to more of their hentai. Our story begins in a living room of some kind, and or maybe a bedroom, and three characters are introduced while they are playing video games. We have Yusan, the aunt, and Yu, who is her nephew. Our main protagonist has not yet been introduced by name, however he's just sort of sat in the middle watching their gameplay on the TV. He did, however, state the fact that he saw Yusan peeing, which was most likely to get a full view of her clunge. We are followed by some conversation, most notably the close-up shots of her cleavage and bottom, or she mocks them for never getting any minge. After the main protagonist's name is revealed as Ruichi, and he gets past the controller by the aunt starts to lean on him and start pressing his boobs against her shoulders, which is clearly followed by a slight arousal in his crotch area. As we see this, due to the slight twist and shout of his penis, it is then suddenly grabbed by the aunt, which then is followed by rubbing through his dark green trousers. She then continues even more to lick his ear and bite it, and rub his genital areas even more. His pee-pee then ensheathed by the aunt out of his boxers. She notes that his peen hole still has been covered by the foreskin. Let's hope we get some tasty smegma through this reveal. That would just put the marks up even more. But as she rolls back the foreskin, we are sadly not treated to any of that delicious substance. She then starts playing with the tip. Don't know if that has a name, but she just sort of starts like stroking it, and she likes to note on how the texture is a lot better than her current husband's. This then promptly turns into a handjob. We get close-up shots of the peen, and then some liquid starts coming out. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this shot, as there are a lot of bubbles coming out of it, and it just reminds me a lot like snot, so that is quite disappointing. This is then followed swiftly by Aunt launching her mouth on it, which will leave gentleman's relish all inside of her mouth. It was smart thinking, as you don't want the cummies going all over the floor. Somehow though, through this entire ordeal, her nephew doesn't notice a thing that's going on behind them. They're probably about 2 foot away from each other, and not a thing is noticed. This, I believe, shows that the nephew, Yu, is just a pure Chad, and just a true gamer, and he will not let his virginity be harmed. She said chews on the sperm. I don't really know what I was expecting on this part, but I didn't really expect chewy cum, so that's something. The aunt then uses her big brain to tell the nephew to go buy a new game near her house. Rio tries to go with Yu. Yui says Yu has a moped or some kind, and so he'll just get there faster, so Ryu should stay with her. And this is where we let the good times roll. We know this because as soon as Yu leaves, as soon as the door closed, the legs are open, and the fresh scent of the ocean starts to seep into the room. She then notes how cute he is, probably to get the blood rushing to his lower area. After this, her bra comes off after Yui takes it off, and her titties are shown. They immediately wrap around young Rio's willy. It is then noted how soft her breasticles are, and not long after, all the relish goes over her and her boobies. She notes that the force of which the cum is coming out, so I'm guessing it's coming out about Mach 2. Not enough to blow her head off, like that TikTok video. After this, her underwear is rolled to the side to show her middle-aged beef curtains. She states Rio can do whatever he likes, which I'm sure gets his young juices flowing. She stated that she had just peed. However, this will not stop young Rio in his journeys, as his tongue goes down to the special place and he starts munching on that beef sandwich. She eventually sits onto his area, and then the bass and music starts to kick in, just showing the pure enjoyment of the section ahead. She states she took his first kiss and his virginity, showing she is the only true powerhouse in this situation. She asks if it's all good and says she'll do many things with him. After these brief exchanges, he once again shoots his shot for the third time, but by some miracle, none of the relish enters and all just, it comes out. It comes out. The mayo just all spills out. How this happens, I frankly could not tell you. His penis defies all laws of science. They then change position and Rio starts to own the night once more. She then states for him to go wild, in which he goes monkey. She once again says how good it is and how much she loves his semen being stirred up inside of her, which makes it sound like an entire Gordon Ramsay recipe. She then states how wet and soaked her beef curtains are, which personally doesn't sound that appetizing to me, but Rio is absolutely loving this. This is then followed by her being a baby and drooling, and then it finally finishes again, making this number 4 for big Ryoichi-chan, showing he truly is the boss and no longer needs to be a Reddit simp. We then see him pull out with a mess all over him, all over the sandwich, and all on the wooden floor. Let's hope they can clean this up before you comes back. And this is where the curtains close and our story finishes. We then followed by the proshentai.com, their logo popping up again with a massive like Vine jump scare sound effect. Now onto my opinion of this hentai. I frankly just cannot fathom how this nephew did not see the blowy blatantly going on behind him while they're playing the game, and with the moaning, and even though it was only whispering going to the auntie, you're about 2 foot away, mate, come on, you can hear him. This hentai also shows how much relish this man Rio is actually packing inside of his balls. He does it 4 times, which I'm sure he would be granted a Nobel Prize for. Through, however, my professional opinion, I'm rating this hentai a 7. It loses marks to the nephew not seeing the blowy going on behind him, and how many rounds this man is shooting. It quite frankly makes me quite uncomfortable. And the snot cum, that was very unpleasant in my eyes. But yeah, 7 out of 10 this hentai gets. Thank you all.